You were told to be quiet. You were told to shrink. You were told that love meant pain. Here you are. Here you rise. Welcome to Powerful Woman Rising from Narcissistic Abuse. The show where we break the chains of narcissistic abuse, reclaim our power, and step into the unstoppable force we were always meant to be. I'm Azadeh, best-selling author, narcissistic abuse educator, and coach to high achievers. Together, we'll uncover the truth, rewrite our stories, and ignite the power within. It's time to rise, it's time to heal, and it's time to take your life back. Well, hello, you guys. Hello, everybody. Hello, Shannon.
Hello.
Welcome to another episode of Powerful Woman Rising from Narcissistic Abuse. You guys, I say I'm excited about a lot of my guests, but this beautiful soul literally highlights Instagram, and that's how I was attracted to her. Even in social media, God will show you who's for you, who's not for you, and who's not for you. So I met Shannon. Let me introduce her. Shannon Savoy. She was in the military. She's a survivor. She's a coach. She's an author. And she's a realtor. And I came up with with a new name for her. I say she is on the front lines of the army of God, fighting for us, because she fought for herself first, and then she fought for us. Welcome, Shannon.
That's so good. Listen. Listen, I'm like,
I,
that's so
it's,
good.
yeah. Well, I'm not love bombing. I say things.
No, absolutely not.
I say it as I see it, whether it's a correction, a boundary, or the facts.
Yes.
We have to say the truth when it's appropriate, right?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And thank you for having me. I see the work that you do. And of course, like you said, we don't love bomb each other, but I am a big advocate of giving people their flowers while they are in my life, while they're here. And if you inspire me, you inspire me like you do so many others. And I'm not ashamed to say it. So
Same. I'm the same exact way. There's no hidden agenda like the covert
Mm-mm.
narcissists have abuse under the radar with an agenda. I'm real. This is it. I already did my
No.
books. I already healed
Yes.
mostly
Right.
as we continue. But anyways, I want to get into your story.
Okay.
Start and tell me. I just look
Mhm.
at you and I go, "Oh my God, you are so beautiful. You're so beautiful." But it's
Likewise.
thank you, but the beautiful I see, there is a glow in your eyes that
Mhm.
I see through Zoom that I resonate with, and
Yeah.
that's God. That's the Holy Spirit living inside of you.
Yes,
That's what
absolutely.
it is.
And only God can give that to you. Like we've seen people with the black eyes. Like you can tell a lot from
Yes,
people's eyes. You can
for
tell a
sure.
lot from people's spirits, even if they're trying to mask. We can see it once we have that awakening. So yeah, the woman that you see here today, I was not always. I was a glimpse of who I am. I'm still me at my core, my personality. But the woman you see today, I was a broken woman. Had a broken soul. I had a fragmented soul and I didn't know it. And so when I went through that healing and like we just talked about the dark night of the soul and being spiritually awakened, I realized that I had a lot of work to do and I'm committed, thoroughly committed to doing my work and now helping other people do their work too.
That's amazing. That right there, most people shrink from, get scared
Hmm.
from. They either go avoidant or they
Hmm.
attract one narc after another,
Yeah.
or they just stay stuck in fawning kind of thing. They just, right? They just
Hmm.
don't. And it's sad and it's a waste of a beautiful God creation.
It is. It is. I refuse to, stay stuck. And one of the hardest parts is confronting you. Once the narcissist left out of my life, the sociopath, I had to face me. That was way harder than facing him. I had to face my bloodline, had to face my family and what happened. and not bypass it, that was harder than going through domestic violence. Doesn't that sound crazy?
Yeah, I get it.
You get it.
I get it. I get it 100%. Having a beer bottle broken in my face by my psychopath boyfriend and beat up throughout the months prior to that. I think I agree. Dark night of the soul, facing that naive part of me that trusted and thought everybody's gonna love me because I love them.
Right. And that's what you look for when you're broken. You become like you is I say everybody projects, right? We know that narcissists project. They project what's inside of them because you can only project what's inside of you. You have the light. They're always going to be attracted to us because we have the light, and so they project what's inside of us, and it's false, or what's inside of them, and it's false. And we project the light because that's what we have. And so
Ooh,
sometimes we want to see people as good, like we are. They project evil and whatever is inside of them, and then we also project that everybody's good because that's how we want to see people, but that's not always the case, you know.
that's so
Mm.
transformative right there in one sentence. We project our light onto them.
Yeah, yeah, that's how they survive.
That's how we survive. Tell us your
Mhm.
story, Shannon. Tell us about the narc that ultimately got you to do the work, to leave,
Right.
do the work. Share with us.
Okay, and I always say now, I say, and I'm gonna write a book on this. It's not about the narcissist, but at the time, you don't know that. It's really okay. So let me give you the Cliff Notes version. Now I know it's not about the narcissist, right? They
Yeah.
come, he came in my life as a mirror image of me that happened. He showed me the good and bad parts of me as well. But he came into my life at a time where I was like, I'm ready for a relationship. I've been single for a while, and okay, God, I'm here, I'm waiting. And the next week, I'm kidding you not. God, now one thing, God answered my prayer. That's why the devil had to be quick, you know. So the
Yeah.
next week he showed up in my inbox, and we had met years before, but I didn't know him, right? And so when he came across, there was familiarity already there, and so I was like, oh, okay. I saw a picture of him. I was like, okay, muscles. I was like, okay, all right. And then he went to work on me. He went to work on me. Do you tell? He sent me shoes. We talked on the phone for hours. He trauma bonded with me. He was telling me about his now I know that that's not cool, right? But at the
Yeah.
time I was like, "Oh, he's tr- he's crying on the phone with me. He's telling me about his past and his mother, and I'm very sensitive." So he had me like hook, line, and sinker, and I had never seen a man be like that. So I'm thinking, "Oh, I'm special."
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
sharing all his intimacy with me. He's never done this with anybody, right? But me. And so, yeah, so he had me, and we quickly. And then so eventually we got married, and I tell you, about a week or two, less than 2 weeks after we got married was our first like incident. It doesn't take long after they have you.
Oh, you're
That's
so,
when
so good. That's
Mhm.
so good for our viewers. They
Mhm.
land you. They need to land you. Move in with me. Get married now, 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 now. It's like, okay, okay, what's your urgency? But
Right.
then you think most guys aren't like that. Well, I am special.
Right. You start to think you're special. And you are special, but not to a narc.
Not to a narc. Yes. So then what happened within 1 week? What happened, Shannon?
So we had a disagreement. We went out or something like that, and we went out and we came back, and it was something that he did that like annoyed me, right? And so I was just like, we were talking, and he said something stupid. I got up and walked away, right? Got up and walked away. I went into the bathroom. He was hot on my heels. He came in there. He like mushed my head, pushed me, and I could not believe it. I was in shock, right? Because it was so different from what it was
Yeah.
like. Dr. Jekyll and Mr.
Right,
Hyde.
right.
And while he didn't hit me, he mushed my face and pushed the door on me. But I was just like, my brain was like, what is happening here? Like, how did we just go to having a small disagreement, just got married, we're supposed to be in the honeymoon phase? Like, I was like really thrown off. And so that's where it started. And then from there, just, it was hitting, it was fighting. He almost broke my nose one time. I mean,
Oh,
yeah, yeah. Yeah. And we
And
were only
you
married 2 years. I will
only
say that.
years.
2 years.
But Shannon, you're also in military, so you are
Yeah, he was in the
trained.
military. Yeah.
Oh, he was.
Yeah,
Oh,
I was an officer, I was a warrant officer, and he was a first sergeant. So, yeah. So we were both senior. And that's also like the shame of that. So people are like, oh, you're strong. I'm not always strong. I'm a baby. Like, I'm not always strong. You know what I mean? I'm a gangster. Maybe she's a
yeah.
gangster too, you know, but I'm soft in the inside once you break down those layers, you know what I mean? And so he was able, to get to me like that. And so yeah, people are like, oh, you're strong, you're this, you're an officer, you're a black woman, you're built to take a licking and keep on ticking. No, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. So a lot of shame came with that, and I had to like forgive myself and realize that I needed help, because something was very wrong. So yeah, so I end up so and okay, I'm gonna tell you this, and
Tell
I
me.
don't know if it's in my book. Shameless plug.
What's
Um,
it called? What's it called? Let's see.
Breaking Free from Domestic Violence. So it's a
Woo!
survival guide to reclaiming your life and freedom. And it talks a little bit about my story, and it's really a survival guide. So I have a restraining order still in place against him. I've been out of that since 2016. I had a 10-year order of protection because of the abuse and the stalking. We had a jury trial. I'm giving you the very Cliff Notes version. He had a jury trial for stalking me. This is when we were in Hawaii. He would stalk me. He would come by the house. Um, yeah, so I ended up getting a restraining order, order protection, a temporary one, and then we end up going to court for the actual restraining order, and then because he kept violating it, they had a jury trial. He got off of the jury trial. He got off. He got off. I don't know what was said, because all I did, I testified, and I think honestly it's kind of like, I thought about this like with the Cassie situation. I know we
Yeah, yeah, it's okay.
yeah. With the Cassie situation, sometimes, and this is hard for me to say, right? But sometimes when and I was a victim, I don't think of myself as a victim, but I was a victim of that. If
Yeah.
if the jury doesn't see you like crying and broken down, and you're not the stereotypical image of what a abuse victim looks like, or somebody that's getting assaulted, I think that can work to your detriment. You know what I'm saying? It can work
Oh my
against you.
God.
So, I mean, I went in there. I was all I could. I'm not gonna lie. I told them what happened, but whatever his, lawyer said, he was able to get off. You know what I'm saying? So I think like with Cassie, she in that situation, it was like she almost she could tell she still had a soft spot for him in some ways. You know what I'm saying? And I think that can work against you because people, they don't understand the dynamics of coercive control. They don't understand the
Okay.
power that these people have and how they're able to charm people. So if you're not broken down and you don't look busted and broke down, then they don't think you suffer.
Yeah,
You
I
know.
agree. That's
Hmm.
powerful. That's real. That's wisdom. That's
Hmm.
awareness,
Hmm.
discernment. Yeah. So
Yeah.
he stalked you after you left him.
Yeah.
Stalked you in Hawaii, like
Yeah.
wouldn't stop, would not
No.
stop.
No, no. As far as I was concerned, I was his. And then after I got the 10-year, I was awarded a 10-year restraining order right before I left the island and came to Houston. I went and petitioned the courts for a longer one. I was only asking for 2 years, but he did what narcs do best. And eventually he talked so much, I didn't even have to say that much in this one. And the judge, I realized God put the judge in place, so he went in there lying. Now the judge did get on me because I admitted that I spoke with him and I had a restraining order. She said, do not ever do that. And that's why I'm so big on telling people when they have a restraining order, do not speak to them because they're going to use it against you. And he used it against me in court, but then he ended up telling on himself, and I didn't even have to say too much. And the judge was like, based on what you said, I'm going to award her a 10-year order, or a 10-year order of protection. I was like, I was only asking for two.
Oh my God. So but you had to face him in court. Like you were both in court,
Yes, and he was lying his tail off like he always did.
like he always did. So 2016. So now I'm thinking that's 9 years ago.
Yeah, well, I was awarded that in 2017. Yeah, so I have a couple of more years on that. Yeah.
Has
Mhm.
there been any attempts since that?
Not that I know of. Not that I know of. You know, they watch you, they stalk you. I'm all over social media. He probably
Yeah,
has
yeah.
seen me. You know,
Right.
I don't care. See me glowed up.
Well,
I ain't hiding. I ain't
I
hiding. We
got
and listen, I live in Texas. We locked and loaded, okay, in the
we
natural
lock and load.
atmosphere.
Exactly, exactly.
Right.
Yeah, and that's really the ultimate revenge is when we Godspeed we rise and rebuild. I mean, I didn't mean to say my brand, but I just did.
No, it's perfect.
I mean, and that's out of the book of Nehemiah, truly rise and rebuild.
Yes.
But we it's like God will give us these fast tracks and these abilities to show up like
Yeah.
not that I don't want to dismiss that it didn't happen, but
Right.
almost as if we were just escalated and rocked so much higher. And now you're like, I don't hide, I'm on social media.
Yeah. That not at the time. Because I went
Not at
into,
the time, right?
I went into this, what I call spiritual ICU. I went into the wilderness for a
Yeah.
while. But
Oh,
then God had to tell me, because that period when now he's gone and now I have to face, how did I get into this? And that's when my healing problem. When you start asking those questions, when the student is ready, the master appears. And I
totally.
started to ask myself, how did I marry a sociopath? What
Yeah.
did that say about me? That's what I was like, what? It's okay. I know who he is, but how didn't I see it? And and I went into depression. I had diagnosed with everything. I was diagnosed, I knew I already had ADHD. I was diagnosed with severe depression. I was diagnosed with hypervigilance or, being extremely
Right, right, right,
hypervigilant.
right.
I was diagnosed with severe anxiety. I was almost had like a form of agoraphobia. I did not want to go outside because one time I ended up seeing him, and yeah, and he made it clear like, okay, I'm gonna give you this quick.
Tell me.
We were in Mililani, Hawaii, and it's like this town center, right? And I went, and I would be, and I knew by this time that he was watching me because he would send, how they send phone messages from Text Me and all these different apps. He was using a bunch of different apps, and back then they weren't as common. But he was using a bunch of different apps to hide his number, so that way I wouldn't know it was him. But I eventually, I mean, who else will be doing something like that? But anyway, so I went to the town center to get some food, and I'm backed into the parking spot, and I see his truck pull out, and I see it from the corner of my eye, and I'm like, and then here's my car, and I'm backed in, and I see his truck, and he stops right in front of me, and I'm looking, because I know it's him, and I did not look up, and he sat there right in front of me, and he wanted me to acknowledge him, and I didn't. And then eventually a car came before me. He drove off. He wanted me to see him. He's supposed to be nowhere near me. Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah. We had several instances like that. Okay, next one, and then I'm gonna wrap it up.
Tell me,
I
please.
went to this was my birthday. You know that first birthday after you get out of abuse, it's not always happy. Like
Right.
you try to go on, but there's a lot of loss. You're still grieving. Like, and by this time, I think this was 2017, so our divorce, we were divorced at this time. And so I was like, I'm gonna go out. That's when I used to go out to the club, right? And so I went out for my birthday, and I had a feeling, it's an island, it's small. I had a feeling that he was gonna be there because he stayed in the club. I stayed in church, he stayed in the club. It was never gonna work. But I said on this night, my girlfriends wanted to take me out, and so I had a feeling he was gonna be there. So we're at a table, and having a good time, just sitting there mingling. And then he doesn't see me, but I see him, and he's like on the prowl. Like, I was like, He is such a predator." Now I can see it because I'm awakened by this time, you
Yes.
know? And I
Mhm.
see him like standing on the other side of the club, and it was so animalistic because now the blinders are off, the love goggles are off. I see him for who he is. And it's so disgusting that I was ever married to that thing. You know what
Wow.
I mean? It just
Yes.
disgusted me. So anyway, I have the temporary restraining order in place, and I see him like walking, and he's just like on a hunt, like I guess trying to find somebody to dance with, whatever. And so I went out, and I told the people, I was like, because I had to take my restraining order wherever I went at that time. So, because I didn't know wherever he was going to show up, and that's what they told me to do. So I said, I have a restraining order against my ex. He's in the club. I don't know if I saw him. I don't know if he saw me, but I'm not comfortable with being in the same place as him. And so they went and got him. Um, they went and got him, and I was standing there, and and I was about to go back in, and oh, I was coming up the escalator, about to go back in, and here come him and his friends, and he's just so loud and belligerent, and saying all kind of things, and they looking at me like, because he got thrown out. I'm like, I don't care. Don't play with me.
Yeah.
I don't care. You should have did what you did. Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not about to be sitting up in here with you on my birthday. You gonna have to bounce. So I'm going back into the club, and here he is. He's just belligerent and loud, and him and his friends like eyeing me down. And it took every bit of strength. The same thing on the jury trial. And I just held my head up high, and I went back into the club. And now inside I'm still hurting, but I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm proud of myself for standing up to myself, because so many women wouldn't have did that.
I know. I'm so proud because that conditioning of fear that I've had to face and
Yes.
break with God, break that stronghold of being, um, of letting the fear control me. That's what
Yes.
they thrive on that. And when they
Yeah.
show up, it's like,
Mhm.
it reminds me of when I ran into my psychopath,
Mm.
malignant narc, is like,
Wow.
I saw him at I know what you're talking about. And if I
Mhm.
want to really relate to you, as
Mhm.
both survivors, is that I ran into my psychopath at a drug court because I was already sober, had left him 9 months, but now I was there for school to learn and get my drug and
Um,
alcohol counseling. And I walk in and he's sitting right there because he had been arrested again for drugs. And he looked at me. He never called me Azadeh. He called me Farsi because that's the language I speak, Farsi.
right.
You go Farsi. And I
He
walked in.
called your name out?
Yeah, yeah. He didn't even say Azadeh. He said Farsi. And I looked over, I saw him, and I started shaking, 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 shaking like you.
Hi, you guys. I wanted to share with you what life and the lightness of life, how it could feel if you do the work, if you do the healing, the true healing, the visceral healing, the emotional healing. Just memorizing, going from one thing to another, you're going to eventually come back to your own pain. And I want to share this new launch that I'm doing. August 25th, it's going to come out. I'm only going to take a few, actually 4 people, where I literally am available for you through the whole transition, transformation, the internal surgery, the spiritual surgery, what we need to do, that you are left with leaving the trauma behind, and it's nothing but a memory. That's a promise, okay? That's how it is for me. I was not able to write my books. I was not able to be in a marriage if I was still in survival mode, holding on to pain and holding it down and trying to look good up front. So this is going to be in 10 weeks. 10 weeks, I will hold your hand, carry you through, navigate the traumas, opening Pandora's box, literally guiding you into a place that you want to be in, but you don't know how to get there, who's going to show you how to get there, what's the navigation process, and it's not that hard. It's not that hard. What's hard is holding on, avoiding, actually sabotaging really good relationships because your trauma lens is still hijacking you. So August 25th, I'm launching this, and it's going to go out in email first. I want you to send me your email if you want first dibs. First dibs coming out August 25th, 2025 for 4 people. It's 10 weeks. And you literally get me more than anything else. Like any struggle, questions, problems, breakdowns, breakthroughs, pain, tears, whatever comes that I know because I walk through it, I will be holding your hand. I will be right there with you to show you the way and that you're not crazy and that you deserve to feel light and free in your world. So drop me your email and let's use this gift of desperation, this gift of a crisis to your own advantage so that you can actually really maybe even enjoy your holidays and enjoy walking in your body and in your skin. Because that's what healing should look like. Not a memorization, not another task to do, but true healing. So I hope you'll join me. I will be closing this after the 4 people sign up. Okay, I hope to see you then.
Like, not, well, you weren't shaking, but I was, my legs, because he, hardcore, did he psychologically, he kidnapped, psychologically abused me. He impregnated me when he promised he had a vasectomy and then wouldn't let me leave the house for 4 days. And he beat me up and broke beer bottles in my face and recorded us having sex, by the way.
Yeah, they're voyeurs.
Anyway, I want to share this with you because it's so much about empowerment. I walked in 9 months sober, going to school, doing internship at the drug court, and there he is arrested, and I'm there as a student. I saw him, and my legs started shaking like this. I almost fell to my knees, almost peed my pants, but I was like, Azadeh, get up, Azadeh, get up. I didn't fall, but I was starting to fall because of that energy that my nervous system recognizes him.
Remember, your body kept the score.
Exactly, it kept the score, but I kept walking to the door that said employees, and I opened it and I looked and I made sure he's looking at me, and I peace out and I went in, shut the door. That was my empowerment moment. But because I was sober now. Well, this is 23 years ago. I was sober now 9 months, and he was arrested again for drugs, and he was sitting right there. And so anyway, I share our victories together, really.
What a full circle moment, though.
Right? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Now, I had to build up to that point because I saw him many times in court, and just like you, he would try to get my attention. And in my leg, because they would put the offenders on one side of the court, on one side of the building, and we would all come in and get a badge, and then the what do we call them, petitioners or whatever we're called, we were all on the other side. So when he came up, he would try to make eye contact with me, and I wouldn't look at him. Those were the times where I was like, when it first started, I was shaky. I was. So I know exactly what you're talking about. But then I had to build up. As more I started to heal, then I could be empowered to speak up for myself. Because before I would not make eye contact because I know by now that's what he wanted. So for you to do that, and you saw how they both tried to get our attention in both cases, because that's what they want.
That's what they want. And you knew, though, I love that you knew, like you were able to self-reflect and say, best thing right now is not stare back or look.
Right.
They do have spirits. They carry spirits of darkness. They can jump on me,
Absolutely.
Right. So I don't want your demons. And at the same time, I have to protect my spirit.
Yes,
Yes,
absolutely.
but I think what a powerhouse that you had to. Oh, here's court again. Here's court again. Let's just
court. We went to court so many times for a restraining order. We didn't have any children. We didn't have any property, but his lawyers would always get continuations and different things when we went to court. They love court. He would go in there and lie.
Yeah, they love court. They love fight. They love the trauma, chaos. Shannon, have you, after him, did you encounter more narcissists, like maybe girlfriends?
Oh, for different people. I started to realize that my mother, my family, because I had to get to the root. I also had to look at me and say, well, am I one?
I know, same.
Am I a narcissist? But God had to show me I wasn't a narcissist. I was chosen. And so when you're chosen, you're going to find yourself. It's like fish swimming around sharks. And it's not so we can go around saying, you're a narc, you're a narc, everybody's a narc. But God wants us to be able to discern because God said, behold, I send you out as sheep, or I send you out as sheep amongst wolves. Jesus already told us that we were going to go out amongst wolves. He didn't say we're going to go out amongst sheep. So when I awakened, I began to look not only I had to start with myself, I always start with myself just to make sure I'm not tripping, you know. And then I
Exactly.
had to look at my bloodline, I had to look at my family, I had to look at the root because he wasn't the first narc. He wasn't the first narc. He was just what I call the coup de grace narc before I awakened. And it took me having that experience to awaken to what was already around me in my family. So I saw not so much friends, but well, we did in my friendship group, we end up, discerning one of our friends, she's no longer my friend. I don't play with narcissists at all. I'm not a coddler. I'm not a sympathizer. I do not play with them at all because of what I've been through. I have compassion for how they were made, but I do not put myself in places that my inner child is not safe around. And so,
Same.
amen. So I began to see like friends, I began to see in my with my parents, and just people that I had been around were narcissists because you really start to awaken. You
You
do.
really do. And when that's so true. It's not like now we are this, I guess, no, maybe we say this. When we heal, we see
You
really
see,
clear
you see, you see.
everything.
Yeah.
I see dynamics, I
Yeah.
see
I
manipulation,
see narcissists.
I see narcissists. Exactly.
Right.
We do. We see them.
Mhm.
We
Mhm.
see them. And oh my God. And it's like, oh my God. And then I go, God, and I have to work on not doubting doubting myself because little
Yes.
girl still wants to say, are you sure? Are
Yeah.
they really? Yes, they are. How am I supposed to
Right.
prove? And so for me, it wasn't like I learned and I'm done. It took me as other relationships,
Mhm.
girlfriends and a boss, really. And then
Mhm.
what happened is I learned
Yes.
quicker. Like it went from staying in it a year to something
Yes.
months and then
Absolutely.
3 months. And then like
Mhm.
right away within a couple engagements, I can see this is not a good relationship. And
Right.
right?
Now
So I,
you're spiritually awakened and you're not doubting yourself. And it takes a lot of work to get to that point because I went through a depression partly because it took
yeah,
me I had to forgive myself, forgive
yes,
him, and process what happened, give that to God, release
yeah,
him to God, forgive myself. It was harder for me to forgive myself than it was to forgive him.
totally. Thank you. Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you for saying that because giving all of my inner world over to someone that was going everything, my dreams, my validation, my vulnerabilities, my sadnesses, my
Yeah.
power, everything into their hands as they collect
Yes.
it like a poker face.
Yes.
And now they're stepping on it and breaking it and
Mhm.
spitting on it.
Mhm.
I'm so mad at myself for
Yeah.
showing up and believing and giving money and giving time and
Yes.
everything. And it's like, wait a second,
Mhm.
what the heck? They're gone. I'm left with me, right?
Right, right. So absolutely everything that you just said, like I had to face that and, had to face myself, what it said about me. And that's when I knew that I needed a lot of healing. I was like,
Mhm.
God, I need a lot of healing because obviously I need to learn how to trust myself. And then you start watching all the narcissists. I don't know about you, but I started like watching all the narcissist abuse content, trying to learn the 5 ways and the 10 signs of a narcissist. So that awareness is needed, but then some people only stay in their awareness, and I did not want that to be me. I did not just want to be able to recognize them, because it also leaves you in a stage of where you're always looking over your shoulder because this person may be a
Yeah.
narcissist. But what God had to show me is no, I'm going to give you discernment. So now it's not that I'm looking for the 5 ways and 10 signs. I'm in tune with the Holy Spirit. So he
Yes.
shows me, so spirit to spirit. And that way I'm not hyper vigilant. I'm not if somebody comes into my life and they have ulterior motives, the Holy Spirit is going to help me to discern that. So I don't have to walk around hyper vigilant and not trusting people. I trust people to be exactly who they are. And then once they show me that there are something different or show me that there's someone different, now I get to respond to that. But it leaves me in a place of peace and rest and not hypervigilance where I once was. You get what I'm saying?
Oh my God.
And
You
now I can trust
yes.
myself and I trust God to show me who they are. And now people, I believe people are who they say they are, who they show me, their fruit shows me to be. So,
That is like the peak of the peak of the peak.
yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, God will show us if there's more. I haven't found, I'm not further than that. That's I'm not. And if there is another level, I'll be watching to
Yes.
learn from you. But
Yeah.
that's the ultimate, is that
Yeah.
like this a gentle, calm knowing
Yeah.
here. And that's the Holy Spirit whispering.
That is. It's
And
like
it's,
let them. It's like that let them theory. If
yeah,
somebody's
yeah,
a narc, let them be a narcissist. Let
yeah.
them. If somebody wants to operate like that, I'll let them. I read this book, whether people believe in his background or whatever. The Four Agreements was very helpful for me. That was do not take what people do personally. That was very helpful, and that helped me in life when I would go through, and still to this day, and I encounter ugly people. Like, let them. You come on my page talking noise or saying bad things about me or whatever. Let them. That's a reflection of them, not a
Totally.
reflection of me. So I no longer, I'm highly empathetic, I'm highly sensitive, I'm highly discerning, but I don't absorb people's emotions anymore. I was never meant to absorb other people's emotions.
Yeah.
I observe them, but I no longer absorb them because I don't want what other people have to get into me. I'm an atmosphere shifter. I'm solid in who I am. I allow people to be who they need to be, and I now get to make a choice of if I want your energy, if I want your spirit, and if I don't, it's not getting in, and it's that simple. Let them.
Wow. Shannon, so I want to ask you, would you
Mhm.
call that like just straight up emotional boundaries? How internally have you learned? Because most of us victims
Mhm. Mhm.
or targeted narcissists love the ones that are hyper empathic, hyper
Yeah.
empathy. How do
Yeah.
you, how, so in my book, I write, you catch it and then you do a boomerang and bring the empathy back to yourself. How
Mhm.
do you do it? Teach us,
Okay.
show us,
Okay.
what
That's
is the way?
good. This for me, I love framework, I love systems, I love processes. So I have to create a framework. So part of my healing, and I'm very big on journaling. I'm very big on getting to the root of things. I don't like surface conversations.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
like
yeah.
surface healing. I always want to examine the fruit and discern the root. So God had me create a framework because obviously I didn't know how to love myself. I
Mhm.
didn't, and I had to admit that.
Oh,
I didn't know how to love myself. I didn't
oh,
have parents that loved me. I don't know my father. I didn't have a mother that truly loved me. I wasn't surrounded by people who love me. I'm no contact with my entire family except for like two people, you know?
yeah,
So
I do know.
yeah, right. And so when I wrote my framework and I wrote my I don't even call her my mother a lot. I say usually say her name because I don't think she deserves the title of mother. I honor her as a mother, as the vessel that brought me into this world, but she doesn't deserve
Right,
that title of
right.
what a mother. I'm a mother
Get
to my children, right? But I had to write out my framework. And in my framework, I wrote out my code of conduct of how I was going to conduct myself in my relationships because I did not have that. So I had to set boundaries with myself and with people, and I stick to them for the most part. Because I had to overcome people, please. I'm still overcoming that, in a
that.
lot of ways, right? And so
Same.
I wrote a framework and I wrote a code of conduct, and it said what I would tolerate and what I won't tolerate. And I stand by that for the most part, you
Oh,
know.
that's so good. I think I'm gonna do that.
Yes, I'll
I'm
share
gonna
mine
do
with
that.
you. I'm
Yes,
gonna
yes.
I'm gonna email you because and then that gave me when things happen because you need processes, you need systems for when things happen. So I check in with myself. So this is my process for when I feel like somebody come into my life when somebody comes into my life and they may be a narcissist. First of all, this is my systems. I ask God, did you send them? God, did you send them or did the enemy send them? Because I always say, you'll hear me say this in every, probably every message when I speak. I always say they only come in one of three categories. They only come in as a destiny distraction, as a destiny destroyer, and a destiny helper. So I ask God, who sent this person. And so once he shows me, and it takes a little time. It takes me absorbing their fruit. It takes me sitting with God to check them out, just to see, because I'm a patterns person. And so if they haven't shown me any of that, then I place them in the right category. And then if something comes up and they do something, and then I have to place them in the right category. So I have processes. And so once I see, okay, maybe this person is narcissistic, I put them over in this category, and I don't expect anything from them except what they can be. I don't expect love from them. I don't expect to bond with them. I do not expect. So it's up to me once I discern who they are, no matter what they are. I get to discern how, or get to see how I'm going to act. And that's just my framework. So I have a framework for, different situations. So I create systems and processes for pretty much everything. And that helps me stay grounded. It helps me examine myself. It helps me stay rooted. Yeah.
So good. I
Mhm.
hope my listeners got that because I love that. I'm the same as I love all of that. And I thank you for teaching that to me. I love finding the way to
Mhm.
protect myself
Yes.
and not give myself away.
So good. That's what I was looking for. That's how I ended up with a sociopath. I went through sexual abuse as a child. I told my mother I was not protected. I was not believed. I think she believed me, but nothing was done about it. So that sent core messages, and I know we got to wrap up. That sent messages to my inner child that I was not worthy, that I was not worthy of protecting. It sent a lot of core messages to me, and I internalized them. And
Yes.
that's part of how I ended up with a sociopath. How could I not? I was right for a sociopath. So I had to dismantle those lies. I went to cognitive behavioral therapy,
Mhm.
prayer, worship, all of that. And then once I did that, that really helped me like shed those lies that the enemy tried to embed into my mind. So, and now I get to help other people do the same. Yeah.
It's it is, Shannon, it really is the frontline army of God.
It
It
is. That's my
really
church's name too.
is. That's my nickname for you now. I mean it because it is the work.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
This is the hardest and the most empowering work.
Yes, absolutely.
It's the
Absolutely.
hard, yeah. But watching others go back
Hmm.
over and over, and we know it's going to take what it's going to take.
Yeah.
It's going to take what it's going to take. But also to not spin out with them, and because I have a lot of women that I work with, and some men that are they it's still somehow they get baited back in by a sob
Yes.
story or a love bomb
Yes.
or something, and it's like, well,
I
you're
hate
gonna
to see that. I hate to see it because it's gonna be 10 times worse when you go back. And then you have to
yes,
wrestle with that, forgiving yourself again. And that's the commitment that I made to myself. Unless God sends me, I'm not going. Because I know the work that we do, if you try to go back, the work that you do, and you're not equipped and you're not backed by God, the enemy wants to take you up out of here. And that's what people don't realize. This is spiritual and psychological warfare of
for
every.
sure, for sure, it's psychological and spiritual warfare. And you're right, because I've seen people come into my work or pretend like they're my buddies, and then all of a sudden, next thing I know, the smear campaign is
Yep.
on. No, no, we're not doing this. You're not coming into my work. You're not going to podcast. You're not coming anywhere unless I've seen you and watched you for a while, and I really have a confirmation from God, because you're right. The hardest thing is not the abuse; it's the self forgiveness that I got to go get
Yeah.
re-traumatized and re-heal and re-clean up all my wounds and be and apologize to myself.
Apologize to yourself. And that's an agreement I have with my inner child. I will not put you around people that are not safe for you. That's a because I look for other people to protect me, and that's how I ended up with sociopath. So now I let God protect me, and I protect my inner child, and I do not
Ooh,
put my inner child in around people and spaces that are emotionally unsafe. That's an agreement that I have with myself.
that is so,
Mhm.
so rich and beautiful and powerful. And that is the answer. So many people, like, it's so good. It's so good. Shannon, I really would love to invite you back.
Of course,
If
anytime.
I may, if I may.
Yes,
You
any
are a gem,
you
and
likewise.
I feel with every word you chose to share with me today,
Mhm.
I do feel it's backed by I bear witness.
Amen.
I bear I bear
Yeah.
witness. Thank you so much. Oh, you guys, please tell it how to get in touch, to watch, listen, follow.
Yes.
How do we do that with beautiful Shannon? Please tell.
Thank you, Azadeh. I really appreciate you and the work you do. So you can find me on Instagram, on TikTok. YouTube is my primary platform.
Oh,
I call them chain breakers. I have over 30,000 chain breakers over there, and I teach weekly on Mondays at 6:30 p.
oh.
CST. Right. Yeah. So that I teach on spiritual warfare, and I talk about narcissist abuse from a spiritual and biblical perspective over there. So yeah, and then Instagram is my next, and then TikTok. Yeah.
Oh, YouTube? I'm gonna
YouTube.
go find you on there. I'm so
Are you on YouTube?
I am. I'm
Okay,
researching
okay,
on there.
yes.
Yeah, yeah. But I'm gonna go follow you and listen. Monday nights, what time?
6:30 p.m. CST. So
Yeah,
your time, that's what, 4:30?
yeah, yeah. 4:30. Every Monday?
Usually every Monday. If I don't, then I'll put it
Yeah,
on
yeah, yeah, yeah.
post.
But you're
Mm-hmm.
wow, how cool. I hope you guys got that. I hope you guys
Great.
come. Thank you so much
No
for being here
problem.
and sharing your gold and your wisdom and the way you do it. That's so powerful. So
Yeah, thank you.
powerful. Thank you so much for being here, Shannon. Appreciate
Thank you. Thank you likewise.
it. Yes. Okay. Until I'm gonna be reaching out, and the next time I want you on here, I'm gonna think of a topic, and then I'll share it with you, and then we'll
Okay, I'm
not
ready.
or not. You ready? Yes. We breaking chains, breaking cycles.
Yes.
You.
Thank you. God bless you.
God
Bye.
bless you. Bye, Shannon.
Bye.